For this piece, you're going to need ribbon, scissors, a lighter, hair clip, super glue, and chain. This is the ribbon that I'm going to be using for this piece. I got this one at Michael's. And you're going to go ahead and cut off about 10 inches off of that ribbon. Before you tie your bow, you're going to seal the ribbon ends with a lighter in order to prevent fraying over time. When you do this, make sure you don't put the ribbon directly onto the flame because it will burn and it might catch on fire, so please be careful. How you'll tie this bow is taking 2 loops and overlapping them. And then that right loop, you're going to bring down into that bottom loop. And then you're going to grab onto those 2 ends and pull. Just make sure you pull gently or it's going to come undone and then you'll have to repeat the process. And when it's correct, it should look like this. And now you're just going to fix it up, make it look pretty by pulling on those 2 ends until you have the desired bow. And you're going to go ahead and grab your hair clip and super glue. I find that the gel super glue actually works best for these projects. Put a decent sized glob of glue on there and then set the bow on top of it right afterwards. I recommend pushing down on the middle of the bow with the glue cap so you don't get any super glue on your fingers. Then hold it there for about 20 seconds so it can set. After the glue turns white, we're going to attach our chain onto the hair clip. If you're planning on using thicker chain like me, definitely use aluminum chain because it's very lightweight. It's very important that you use lighter chain so it doesn't weigh down the hair clip too much. If it's too heavy, then the hair clip is probably not going to stay on that person's hair. And then you're just going to further decorate it using some charms. For this piece, I used eye pins, a 1-step looper, charms, ribbon, and earring hooks. If you don't have any eye pins on hand, you can use 22 gauge half hard wire to make your own, which is what I did here. I'm gonna make 2 of those and put 2 charms on the bottom of those. I use these cute little silver hearts. You're going to need 2 bows, which you can refer back to the hair clip portion of the video. Then you're going to put a glob of super glue on those bows and gently set those eye pins onto that glue. Now, even without the added beads, these earrings look so cute. So it's completely up to you. Now, I don't know how, but I totally forgot to record the part where I actually put on the earring hooks. So here's a little clip from an old video of mine. Let me know what you think about these. For this piece, I used silver wire, charms, chain, lobster clasp, and jump rings. I used a few other in-depth materials that I listed in my video explaining how to make unique jewelry. So if you want to know where I got those materials, you should check that video out. I also provide some pretty useful tips in that video too. I'm picking out all the beads I'm going to be using and putting it in my bead board. Then I'm using my tweezers to just draft out the bracelet design that I'm going to be making. When that bead placement is 100% to my liking, then I start to bead those beads onto the bead wire. I always make my bracelets 2 strands instead of 1. So I have 1 strand of the bracelet that is more flashy, and then the second strand just kind of complements that first one. I've always made my bracelets like this, and I probably will never change that. Because, I mean, 2 is better than 1, but I don't want to make the bracelet too flashy. So I think it's like a perfect in the middle. Not too flashy and not too boring. You know what I mean? So if you want to know how to finish your jewelry the best way, definitely check out this video I made. It's an in-depth video on how I finish my jewelry to make sure that it's as durable as it possibly can be. Last but not least, just pick out your charms and you're done. This bracelet is actually a part of my weirdo collection, which is on my website and Etsy. I have a discount code for you in the description. In this piece, I used ribbon, beading wire, one-step looper, a lighter, super glue, and of course, beads and a pendant. So for this bigger bow, I'm going to be cutting around 20 inches of this ribbon. And I'm just going to be following the same steps as I did in the hair clip portion of this video. I got this ribbon at Walmart actually, but I found one that is similar on Amazon. Again, please be very careful using a lighter. Make sure there's nothing flammable around you and that you're lightly going over the ribbon with a flame. I cut about 1 foot long of that beading wire. And you want to make sure that you're using beading wire that is below 0.45 millimeter. Right here I'm using 0.3. This is like perfect. Because when you use 0.45 millimeter beading wire, you aren't going to be able to finish the jewelry properly. Because 0.45 is just too thick. At the very end of the design, I like to put a flat bead so that it's an easy surface for the bow to actually stick on there with the glue. I just made my own eye pin with 20 gauge wire. Then I'm adding a black teardrop bead on there and then just finishing that eye pin using a one-step looper again. I used about 2 inches of chain, then I'm just connecting that eye pin onto there. Then I'm just adding these cool spikes onto the chain. Then I'm just putting a drop of glue onto that flat bead and then touching the bow onto it, and then the keychain's done.